Whales. At the film's start, we see the world's end. Resources are gone, and Earth's heat has risen sharply. It's so severe that Antarctic ice is melting, releasing trapped viruses, causing plagues that quickly killed the few remaining humans. Where governments and the wealthy chose to leave to save themselves, starting to travel to other planets by rockets. However, their decision was abrupt. They hadn't planned well, nor knew how to reach another planet or survive there. Consequently, many rockets were lost in space, and people perished. With few humans left, they were dying from hunger and thirst, and some even killed each other. In this world, we find the sole human survivor, Eva, living with a robot at a military base in the mountains. Her father built this base and created the robot, which guards the outside of Eva's home, so no one could harm Eva or steal her things. Even now, when Eva goes to get supplies, the robot gives her instructions, like not drinking the water below and taking extra oxygen. As she descends, we see a devastated world. In this ruined place, Eva finds a supermarket and enters. She takes what she needs and discovers lemon seeds. Growing them now is tough, but she remains hopeful. She picks up the seeds and leaves. Eva still hoped to find another survivor, but after extensive searching, she found no one. So, she wrote her location outside the superstore, hoping any survivor could join her. Returning home, the robot awaited her. Each time Eva wanted to enter, she had to give the password to the robot, even if she went from the car to the gate multiple times. Once, frustrated, Eva entered the wrong password, and the robot pointed a gun at her. To protect herself, one down, she enters the right password and heads home. She showers with her clothes on to wash away any virus from below. Then, she resumes her work. Inside her home, she set up a small greenhouse to grow essentials. In her solitary life, there wasn't much else. Grew her own supplies, brought in provisions, and generated energy. Recently, she installed solar panels to avoid energy shortages. Then, she did all these tasks alone. Her robot just roamed the house. The next day, while working, Eva jokes with the robot. But it's an AI. People don't get jokes. But she even proposes marriage. But the robot explains marriage, saying a robot and human can't marry. What'll happen to me? There's no one else but you. From their chats, we learn her dad went to his battalion after setting up this base, promising to return in days. But years have passed, and he hasn't come back.
The robot began to understand a little and then said to her, I can only work for 40 years. What will happen to you if something happens to me? She jokingly replies, it's alright, I'll find another robot. Anyway, now Eva asks him about the robot's rules. The robot explains that we cannot harm any human. The second rule was that they had to follow every order given by humans. And the third rule was that they would keep themselves alive. However, the condition was that they should not harm humans in doing so and should not disobey human orders. Here, Eva reminds him that you also have a fourth task. To find new energy resources, the robot said, no, I am just a security robot. I wasn't designed to gather things. My job is simply to protect you and prevent unknown people from coming here. And according to me, an unknown person is someone who doesn't know my password. Even said that's wrong. If someone doesn't know the password but was a human and was dying, you should have helped. Don't you remember the time when your duty was at the checkpoint and you didn't let humans go to the other side? Even though they were dying from the heat, just because they didn't know your password, you and your kind. The robots did not allow the remaining few humans to cross the border, and unfortunately all the humans perished. She tells the robot that it was because of you that the most people died here, but then you were all reprogrammed. If it were up to me, I would reprogram everything again and remind you of the big mistakes you make. Even now, Eva didn't feel comfortable living with this robot. She was afraid of this robot, but she couldn't turn it off because her dad was the one who knew how to do all that. Christmas was approaching. Eva asked her robot if it wanted any gift for Christmas. The code replied that we robots do not accept gifts, and Eva was once again reminded of her sad reality that she was spending her entire life with a robot. She remarked to the robot, at least you could pretend to be human. After much thought, the robot approached her in the evening and asked Hema, what gift would you like to give me? Could you give me an eye so that I can see everything? She looked at it in surprise and said, yes, that can be considered. The next morning, we see Eva was about to go down again to get an artificial tree because real trees no longer existed in this world and she needed to. She had to pre-decorate it. Before leaving, Arthur reminded her to take an extra oxygen tag and not to drink the water below. When she returned with her things, she had to go inside the house. The robot asked for the password as usual. The young woman told it, but the robot sounded an alarm because she gave the wrong password. The robot's password changed every 3 months and Neha's password was in Eva's dad's journal. All these passwords were set by Eva's dad and noted in a diary. The diary was now inside the house. If she went inside, she could see the password, but the robot wouldn't let her in. She could see the password, but the robot wouldn't let her inside. Eva started pleading with the robot, but it had no feelings. The young woman was also very thirsty. She tried all the passwords she could think of in front of the robot, but all were incorrect. She then tried to reason with the robot, saying, "Look robot, I am the only human left in this world and you were brought here to protect me, so let me in for just 1 minute. I'll get the journal and tell you your password." But the robot, it wasn't ready to listen to her at all. The robot ignored her again, so Eva sat at a distance. She thought that when the robot's attention was diverted, she'd sneak in. But as soon as she tried, the robot sounded an alarm. This meant even trying could be fatal for her. Now she was desperate to get inside her house. Later, with a new idea, she approached the robot and said, "Let me in. I need an axe to cut trees." The robot replied, "There are no living trees left in this world, so why do you need an axe?" Everything was there that she remembered, but this robot was also strong due to its programming. What didn't fit its parameters was unknown to it, and it couldn't let her in. The robot also remembered Eva, but until Eva told it the password, it couldn't let her in. Again, Eva started pleading like a human in front of it. She said, "Let me in for just 1 minute. I'll look at the journal and then tell you the password again." But even then, the robot wasn't ready to listen to her. Eva then said, "Alright, just let me in for 1 minute and you can follow me. If I don't tell you the correct password, then by all possible means, end my life." To which the robot responded, "Our primary function is to safeguard humans, not to dominate them. I am only capable of harming an individual who is unfamiliar to me, and anyone who does not possess the password is unfamiliar to me." Overwhelmed by the robot's behavior, Eva ceased her attempts and spent the night outside her camp. She had considered the possibility of sneaking into her camp under the cover of darkness, but the robot remained steadfastly stationed in front of her entrance. By the following morning, Eva found herself in a dreadful condition due to severe thirst and hunger. She devised a new strategy. Dressed with her garments turned inside out and concealing her visage, she advanced towards the robot, asserting that she was a refugee seeking assistance. She elaborated that the robot's regulations mandated it to provide aid to her, as refugees ought to have the opportunity to find refuge in another location if they are endangered in their homeland. The robot asks her, "What kind of refugee are you? A disaster refugee or a political refugee?" She knew that disaster refugees are not easily accepted in other countries. So, she said, "I am a political refugee," meaning Eva was from a country where there was a war. The robot tells her, "I will believe you, but you need to walk around and come back." In fact, it wanted to scan her thoroughly. Eva went back, and when she returned, she had changed her appearance back to how she originally looked, which was her mistake. When the robot scanned her appearance, she didn't seem like a refugee, so the robot denied her shelter again. The third time, when Eva showed up as herself, the robot quickly said that someone had been there earlier, but it had turned them away. Eva wondered if the robot was remembering something new. She pleaded, "Please let me in," but now the robot asked for a password. Tired, Eva started to leave and told the robot that if another refugee came, it should at least offer water. Now, Eva needed water. She once more took on the look of a refugee. She stood in front of the robot and informed it that she was in need of water. Prior to providing the water, the robot commenced questioning her, requesting documentation. She became increasingly angry, insisting that she was indeed a refugee. "I've escaped chaos. So, where would I keep documents?" The robot asks why you want to stay in our country. The young person invents a story. Their parents died in the war, they live alone, and their life is at risk, so they came here. Frustrated, they ask the robot for water again. The robot replies it will only give water to the image refugee after giving water to Eva, and it will only give water to Eva once Eva provides their password. The password wasn't a storm. Eva had to spend another night outside, hungry and thirsty. Asam had become weak by morning and she started pleading in front of the robot, "Please give me a little water or let me in for a second." The robot replied, "I'm sorry, I cannot help you. I might have helped you if I thought you were the last person on earth, but just yesterday a refugee and an unknown girl came to me. In such a case, how could your importance have increased with their survival?" Eva's body had no strength left to argue with the robot. Here, the robot tells her that nearby there is a power plant. there might be some humans there because the robot's efficiency often determines the route. If there were people there, there would be some water and food as well. Eva, after some thought, headed towards that place. Her oxygen cylinder had very little oxygen left because all the other oxygen tanks were inside her house, but still she went inside the power plant. This power plant was very deep. It took the young one a long time to descend, but fortunately she managed to find some water bottles inside. Eva removed her oxygen cylinder and, taking an axe, broke the door and went inside. When she got there, she saw that all the water bottles present were the bottles were empty. Another unfortunate incident occurred with Eva. Upon entering the plant, she was exposed to radiation that could harm her body and she was now exhausted. Eva used all her remaining strength to return to her camp, and in a last attempt to save herself, she decided to attack the robot. She drove her vehicle at high speed towards the robot only to find that it was made of very strong metal. As a result of the collision, the vehicle caught fire, but the robot remained unharmed. The next morning, it was evident that Eva's condition had worsened significantly. She was in a dire state with only a few breaths left. Before she passed, she planted the seeds of lament into the ground, hoping that one day they might grow and be seen. Her robot approached and reported everything that had happened during the night, including an attack by an unknown entity. Eva was unable to focus much on what it was saying. She asked it for water, but the robot insisted that attacks were happening and it could not abandon its post. Due to dehydration, Eva was now experiencing hallucinations. She was seeing things and was also experiencing them. She saw herself enjoying a good world dressed in 6 garments. The next time, she had hallucinations as if her dad had come to give her water. But in front of her, she saw it was her robot asking for her password. Eva didn't have the strength to speak. The robot then told her that if she died, its password would automatically reset. Eva didn't pay attention to what it said and only made one last wish, asking it to water her. "Water the seeds," she whispered, and with those words she passed. The robot then reset its password. The stage was set. This robot did not feel any sorrow even at the death of the last human. It was merely artificial intelligence. The conclusion of the movie is whether artificial intelligence can have feelings like humans, and one day they could even prove to be lethal for humans, and with this, the story comes to an end.